In the season opener at Interlagos, Alex Johnson got the lead on the second lap and stayed there for the next 35 until Dennis Garrison took it away with 2 to go. Garrison got the win and Johnson had to settle for second. Today, from Detroit's Belle Isle, it's round 2, sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League. This is the Formula Neagle Season 15 Championship. And all the simulated Formula Renault 2.0 action comes to you live as it happens right here on the Global SimRacing Channel. From the Wolverine State, welcome and hello to another GSRC broadcast. Stefan Slacker joining yours truly, Bill Soupzon, to bring you our Word's Eye view. John Crackers Ambrose has director duties, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. The season opener introduced the viewers to some new names in Formula Neagle, and now for the first time ever, Formula Neagle will get introduced to a new racetrack on the schedule. Stefan, tell us a little bit about today's venue.
Belle Isle, a beautiful island in the middle of the Detroit River, just about 100 feet away from the American-Canadian border, is the host of one of the fastest street circuits in America. Being one of only 2 street circuits on the iRacing service, this track is one of the most popular tracks amongst the drivers on the IMSA and IndyCar station. While Bathurst, the other finished street circuit on iRacing, is a fast and flowing circuit, Detroit Raceway is a nearly as fast track but incredibly tight and tricky. Featuring a lot of off-camber exits onto straights, it is especially tricky to get good exits onto straights in the Formula Renault 2.0. Because of being a street circuit, the Detroit Raceway at Belle Isle, as it's fully named, consists of pretty much just 90-degree turns that connect the 2 big straights down Central Avenue and Strand Drive. The flow is only broken up a little bit by the fountain section near the end of the track, which also inherits the slowest corner of the track. Well, let's find out how this fast track joined with the furious Formula Renault 2.0 work together in Fast and the Furious 9. Our GSRC lap guy.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Renault, so let's do a lap around Detroit. You probably won't see a whole lot of passing down into turn 1 because this is a relatively fast set of S's. The important thing here is to watch the car over the hump on the exit, which can easily cause you to lose control. And yet there's a lot of pressure to get on the power early. The heavy braking into 3 makes it ideal for passing, but be careful not to overshoot it, because even though you've got the escape road, if you try to make the corner, there's very little space to the outside to save the car. After that, you've got a short burst of 4 where you can actually take it a fairly fast clip. But then, as it switches into 5, it's the opposite, narrow, off-camber, and with a tightening exit. Then there's no time before 6, where a little rise at the entry tends to cause some frustrating understeer. Much like the exit of 2, powering off this corner can make or break your lap. You're going to try to straight line the little bends on the backstretch, and then it's important to line up your braking for 7. This is about the only other safe place to attempt to pass, but it's still incredibly difficult to pull off. It also leads into the fountain section, which, if you're smart, will be pretty much single file all the way through. You'll need to display some patience with the throttle as it leads up towards 11, since it's one of the slowest corners on the track and really needs you to get a nice wide entry. Careful on the throttle because the bumps at the exit will cost you some traction, and then prepare yourself for 12 and 13. The precision needed here is immense because you can't clip the inside curves, but you also have no space to swing wide because of the concrete walls right at the edge of the circuit. From there, you're home free on your way to the line since it's flat out through 14, but hopefully you've now finished a lap around Detroit.
Rivaling Sebring for the bumpiest track on the iRacing service, Joe Peak bounces us around Belle Isle. And now let me bounce you around the point standings, and it's really not that hard. With only 1 race in the books, the points pretty much mirrored the results of the opening round. There are a few bonus points tossed in there, however. We talked about new names. At the top of the list is one of them, Dennis Garrison. Alex Johnson is back for a sophomore campaign. You know, David Third Degree Burns has got to feel a little frustrated just when the path to the championship seems clear. Thanks to the departure of Errol Num and Claudius Veed, the arrival of Dennis Garrison makes that path tougher to tread. Is this finally the year that Michael Hofledayson turns potential into actual results? We'll find out. And perhaps the biggest surprise on the overlay is Ali Hay. A follow-up good performance today might turn that Cinderella into legitimate royalty. Let's go to the F2 driver standings. Now, over 15 seasons, 309 drivers have made an appearance in at least one Formula Neagle event. One driver joining that list last round was the P2 leader, Camille Smola. Daniel Solo has 7 career starts. Josh Brain, well, he's got 15 races in his repertoire. Another driver making a debut was Christian Guel. And the most experienced driver on the list is Mark Figueres with 23 starts. All right, let's go ahead and finally wrap up on the team standings. And I use team standings loosely here as 4 out of the 5 teams just have one driver. You can see it right there. The only team that actually is teamed up with 2, that would be Am Racing. And they have a combined total of, well, it'll be 10 less, of 18 points, thanks to the production from Miguel Hofledayson. And the Strudelmeister, that would be Thomas Kick. All right, Stefan, we've talked about the track, gone over the points. How about we take a quick look at the race details?
Race details, very fast and very simple. Second round of 6 in this 15th season of the Formula Neagle. We will have not a single drop throughout this season with just 6 rounds. Race distance today, 60 minutes. You'll have to do 2 stops because you are restricted to 30% fuel, which do about 22 to 25 minutes on a tank. Setups are completely open. You're allowed to tune away as much as you want, but be careful, there is an incident cap of 24.
And there you go. And now let's go ahead and see what's going on as qualifying has started up. No surprise to see Yal Valverde. Hey, welcome him back up at the top of the chart. He's a veteran driver. Don't know if that'll hold up.
Just to go over this very quickly, we did saw in a practice Alex Jönsson in first and David Burns in second behind him, and Alistair Hay in third. But everyone very close at the top, and honestly, I'm expecting to get them to get even closer in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, third degree Burns make it up. I was going to say David Burns got to the top. Look at Ali Hay going around right now, trying to get into qualifying time, but that didn't last long as Timo Ronco gets in there. But there's Ali Hay. Boom! Right up to the top. Our director knew who to put that camera on. Pretty large field here today. They decide to come out big on this little track, boy. If they can just keep it clean for those early laps, Stefan, it should make things a little easier.
It should make things a little easier. And honestly, I'm not expecting a whole lot in this race on the start of it, because let's face it, turn 1, turn 2 are very wide, and unless you get the hump over, the crest at turn 2 wrong, like the pace car driver did in IndyCar, we will not see anything. It can get hairy in turn 3, yes, but it's a very tight, it's just a one line turn, to be honest, and if you do something wrong, you have a big access road to go into.
Maybe one of the biggest factors, and with this being an hour race, 60 minutes, I think we're going to see lap traffic play a pretty significant role.
Yes, and lap traffic here can be very difficult to pass because you have those very tight sections and slow sections in the middle of the track where one turn follows another one.
And lap times are only just about a minute, just a tick under a minute and a half. So I imagine that the lap time difference between the fast drivers and the drivers at the back will make for lap traffic sometime in the event. Ali Hay continues to sit at the top, and as I say that, it is Alex Jönsson that gets up there.
Alex Jönsson proves again he's a force to reckon with, putting up a lap time that is nearly 2/10 faster than Alistair Hayes so far.
The Swede with speed. We'll look at David third-degree burns. And he sits fourth, and he didn't get a good one in there. We had thoughts that maybe he had a good one running. You know, the guy that is interesting is your points leader. He's sitting fifth right now in car number 82. That's Dennis Garrison. Sitting fifth. He's got some work to do.
Now, if I remember correctly, Dennis went from 6th to 1st at Interlagos. So I'm not very worried right now that he is sitting in 5th, because he showed us at Interlagos that he can get up there in the race.
Right on board with Garrison. Of course, obviously our point leader, he got the win last time out. Boy, this onboard camera, you can really get the picture of how narrow it is.
Yeah, and one turn we have to talk about here is the turn he just went through. That is turn 11 and turn 13. Turn 11, a very slow right-hander, but be careful, that exit is so off-camber that you can easily lose any car you want right there. Turn 13, very fast, but don't hit that curb, and then on the exit, once again, quite a drop-off to the left, away from you, and once again, you can easily lose the car there.
He's about a half a second behind Burns right now as he sits in 5th. Look at Eric Lukal trying to put in a better time. He's 18th right now. Not going to do it. Now, a driver that didn't show up in the very first race, I'm talking about car number 15, currently 6th in qualifying, is the Portuguese driver João Valverde. Coming into the season, he was considered a threat to win the championship. Maybe he still is, but without drop races, it's a tough ask to miss that opener. There's only a 6-race season, so if he's going to make up time, he's got to make it up quick. We think he's got a pretty good lap going here as he's working his way through 12 and 13 now. He'll be on the straight.
Let's see what he does. He's sitting on a 27.065 and he does nothing.
Nope. Going to sit there currently to flank the 3rd row.
But behind him, now going into turn 2, Pierce Cocky with a 27.121, putting himself into 7th.
Pierce, long ago picked up the nickname Short Phil. I think he's got those gremlins behind him now. He's got the fueling filled out, but he was notorious for running out of fuel. He'll still surprise you every once in a while. Let's take a look at the weather and see if that's going to play a factor on how these guys are going to be able to handle this. What do you think, Stefan?
It will be interesting, but as we already know, cars are not really anything to worry about in these cars, especially with a track temperature of 106 Fahrenheit, which normally you would worry a little bit about, but because these towers were so little on these cars, and because you can change that, no problem at all. With the pit stop, we will not see anyone running into tire problems. We have got afternoon skybox, clear sky. That is why we have such a high track temperature with air temperature of 82, winds from the west 40 miles per hour. That can be interesting because if I remember right, that is going down into turn 9. So that is down Sunset Drive. And we've got a humidity of 35%.
So a warm day for the two-dimensional fans here on the iRacing platform. You got to give iRacing credit for actually doing two-dimensional fans. Some platforms only use one-dimensional fans, and they're hard to see. Looking there at Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn. Funny about Liam is he sits 18th now. He races over well, he raced in a series that we covered a little while ago that raced the Dallara IR 18s, where he was just dominant. If there's ever a driver that enjoys the high-powered cars, it is him for sure. Not quite the force that he is here in the Formula Renault that he was over there.
Not at all. He is right now sitting 2.2 seconds off our leader. That is a very big difference from being first to where he is here in the Formula Renault 2.0.
Stefan, is that you race more than I do? Is that how you feel? Are there cars that you feel, boy, I'm more competitive in this car than I am in other cars?
Yeah, there's quite some difference. It's more down to how you like to drive a car and then how the car likes to drive. Like, I'm quite good in, let's say, the Ford GT. I'm very good in that car, but I'm struggling in the Pro Mazda where you really just have to gun it into every single turn, and that is not my driving style. So that is, for example, one.
Yeah, so it's the way the car fits your driving style. Why that works. I'd like to learn a little bit to see what that is. I've yet to find a car that fits my driving style.
Well, if you want it slow, then it's the slow station.
Yeah. If they bring like little supermarket scooters to this service, I think I'd be really good at those. You should see me in the supermarket on those things. I run kids over. Get out of the way. Uh-oh, a little trouble there for Hofladaisen. Looks like qualifying is just about wrapping up. What I'd like to do here is go ahead. We'll wait to see what Tuan Tran does because he's a veteran. He's sitting in 15th. With a standing start in a fairly large field, I'd like to get to the grid a little quick.
He hit the wall out of turn 11, so I don't think... Yeah, he goes to the pits.
With that said, I think it's probably wise we can get to the grid a little bit early here. I think everything's settling down, and that way both Stefan and I can get our GSRC commentators bonus for getting through the entire grid before they go green. On the front row, it's Alex Johnson. He's going to be flanked by Ali Hay. Hay got that up there sitting on the pole early, and it held up for the most part. In row 2, Timo Royko and Dennis Garrison. The third row is going to be filled up by David Burns and Luke Trulols. Then it's going to be, here's the guy to watch out for, Yal Valverde in the 7th position. He's going to be flanked by Pierce Cockey, Mikael Hofladaisen in 9th, and he's going to be inside of Camille Smola, our leader in the F2 Championship.
Row 6 is going to be completed by Vincent Braham and Hugo Hernandez Gutierrez. 13th will be David Hoffman starting alongside Alejandro Gutiérrez. Tuan Tran starting 15th, Josh Brain 16th, David Butler and Liam Quinn rounding out row 19. Henrik Kamera and Thomas Kick are our top 20.
Wojciech Podolczak back in the blackjack position. Elmer Notebaum in the double duck spot. Paulo Prieto and Ricard Colom are 23rd and 24th. The next row is Matt Cabreo. And in the 26th position is Eric Lukel. Paul Bird and Bambi, Neil Bamber in 28th. Bastian Hausman way down in 29th, did not put in a qualifying time. Same with Lance Simon, Daniel Solo, Ben Summers, Patrick O'Leary, and Vincent Rea. 33 names on the list, 28 put in qualifying times. It is round 2, season 15 of the Absolute Beginners Formula Neagle.
Now, if we can very quickly go back a bit down the field, here is something very interesting. If we go to camera right now, 19th, he has to start in a turn, and that is something to be careful about because these cars are very easy to spin off the line.
Very interesting, yes, as they get back into about the 9th row there and the 10th row, they are starting at an angle. Large field, small, tight track. It should be exciting. 60 minutes of racing on tap. And the man who sits second in points is on the pole. The point leader is outside of row 2. Watch out for the veteran, Yal Valverde, back in the 7th spot. He missed the season opener, but he should be quick. I can hear the engine start to harmonize. You know what that means. Gather up the chickens, take country on the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And it is the Swede with speed, Alex Johnson, leading the stampede down into the first right-hander, and now the left-hander, that is 2. He's followed by Ali Hay. Ronku, Garrison, and Burns round out your top 5. We're pretty clean so far.
Pretty clean and pretty single file right now as we go 3 wide into turn 3. That's not going to work. Oh, that was close.
Luke Trahulz makes a move on Burns, moves up into the 5th position. Burns continues to fight. Yal Valverde behind him. A little bumping going on from behind. We seem to be okay. Oh, Ronku has had a spin. That was Timo Ronku spinning from third position.
That is the worst position to be spun in. Very narrow section of the track, and he has to wait for the full field to get past him.
Just had to wait. A good job of waiting those. They went by in a train behind him. He had nowhere to go, but all of a sudden that third position is thrown away. That means Hay remains in second, behind Janssen. Garrison up to third, Trulls in fourth. Valverde, I'm telling you, watch out for him. He's now up to fifth.
Good start from Valverde, and let's see if he can build on this momentum that he has built up so far.
And now they come down, going across the start-finish line, completing lap number 1. The back half of your top 10, Hofladezen, Burns, Cocky, Gutierrez, and Tran. Oh. Well, car number 14 just went into the wall. And no, we're looking at somebody even farther up in the standings than that. That was Gutierrez in 10th. Hugo Gutierrez. Right in front of Season 5 champion Tuan Tran, the guy who got the best view of it. You might want to look at it from car number 31, David Hoffman. He had a nice look at this one. Look at this car. That's a barrel roll. Look how it stays, though. It doesn't bounce in front of all that oncoming traffic.
No, that was very lucky, but he sadly did the safety car. Oh, Huisman spins in 30th, same as Ranke.
Now, Bastian Hausmann is a really good driver. Not sure why he is so far back. Did not put in a qualifying time, so he really had put his work in for him there.
Very interesting choice of respinning his car. He proceeded to drive backwards until he is cleared of traffic and spun it back around.
And we come back live.
Oh, I'm sorry. Very big crash between Bird and Kolo. That's for 26th. Bird and Kolo.
We're going to stay live here on this one. We don't want to cover too much as we'll spend the whole... It looks like the track is winning right now with so many incidents. Let's review what's happening up front. Alex Johnson beginning to run away with it now. He's opened up the second gap on Ali Hay. Got to give a tip of the hat to Alistair Hay. Didn't think he would be able to do that. I heard that one. Somebody in the wall. Tuan Tran. Oh, Johnson. We're hearing that Johnson got a piece of the wall. That gap still remaining at just under a second. Stefan, these Formula Renaults are pretty fragile. If you get a piece of the wall and you're able to still race at speed, you got to consider yourself lucky.
Yes, you really have to. I mean, one thing you can spare is the front wing, just for a little bit, but you can spare it. But if you accumulate too much damage, your race is done, and especially your top speed is done.
So we've talked about Janssen and Hay. Boy, the banging continues as I hear cars going off the wall, left and right. The Strudelmeister Thomas Kick had an issue. And honestly, there are so many cars bouncing off the wall, we would have to spend the entire time doing replays right now.
Yes, indeed, and it shows once again why this track is so tricky, especially with these cars. You have to be on top of this car at every single moment. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself in one of the many walls around this track.
We found a good battle for you. The director's on it right there. Yao Valverde, he had worked his way up from 7th position. A lot of that from attrition. Now, the guy who's up 3 spots is Michael Hofladezen right behind him. And Hofladezen would like one more, as he has really got to run. Is he going to force the issue? I think he's going to run out of time. Yes. No, he's going to dive it down in there. Hofladezen gets to the inside. Valverde gives him room. Valverde, I thought he might have got a little wall. I think he's okay. Move Hofladezen up one more spot into the top 5.
Great pass there from Hofladezen, as camera seems to have towed as he screws up my timing there.
Yeah, another driver, Neil Bamber, has had an issue. In fact, Bamber got into a collision with Henrik Kamara. That's what happened. Those two guys get together.
Very, very attrition-filled race so far, as we're only 4 laps in, as we have just completed 4 laps.
We're going to take a second to go back in the field a little bit. Look at this battle going on. This is for 18th position. We're looking at Eric Lukl, and now right behind him is Daniel Solo. Now Solo, remember, we covered the P2 championship. He's doing really well in that one, and the driver who is leading that has already had a problem. So this could be good points for him. Lukl in 17th, Solo in 18th.
Yeah, the F2 Driver Championship is turned upside down with what happened so far, as I think we've already lost 2 of the top 5 drivers in this race.
Yeah. We were talking about lap traffic. I'm not sure if there's going to be any lap traffic for these guys to find the way that attrition is happening right now.
Oh, Troll's in the wall! Trying to force the issue against Garrison, taking himself way too deep, outbraking even the freaking space shuttle, and coming to the stop into the tire barrier at turn 9.
He was really lucky that he didn't get into Garrison as he shot by the nose of Garrison. Garrison just had to wait for it to clear.
And Troll again into the wall. Nearly connecting Brim with it. That was very close for him.
David Hoffman avoids another one as he gets around that one. The action is intense as we go to 5th position now. This is Burns and Garrison. Garrison trying to make up after losing those positions. Burns now up into the top 5. Valverde has moved into 4th. Hofladezen up into 3rd.
Just incredible. But going back to Garrison for a second, with what happened to him, you have to be glad in his position to lose those positions and not be out of the race.
Oh, absolutely.
Now let's see if Garrison can do something here with the slipstream against David Burns, as nope, too far back.
So Garrison got loose, didn't hit anything, and so he keeps going, but he has fallen back into 8th position. Still plenty of time to go, 1 pit stop to go.
As I think lap traffic caught Alex Jensen a bit off guard, and Alistair Hay has closed in onto Alex within a second. As they're going through turn 1 and 2 right now, Alistair has hit the wall out of turn 13 very slightly, but it does seem that he picked up no damage.
No real big names yet coming in for a pit stop. Everybody that we expect are still running up there. Now Janssen and Hay have opened up a 6-second gap. We're going to go back to 5th position because this is heating up. Here comes Garrison. He wants that part. He wants those spots back. He's working on Burns. They go through corner number 5. Next coming up will be the right-hander of 6. I guess we have a passing opportunity here down into 7. I know that's kind of a short way to go. As they work towards the 1000 section.
One thing I have to really get there to David. He is taking turn 6 with so much speed that Dennis has no chance whatsoever of even getting close to David so far.
Yeah, we lost it as they went behind the barricade. Garrison got loose a little bit, lost a little ground to on Burns, and is now under attack from Pierce Cock. Just report Renzo Ria has had a spin. He is out as well. He was racing in 18th position. They continue to fall and fall quickly. The number of cars are out are almost too many to mention. I'm just going to give you just the quantity-wise. I'm looking at about 12.
As we go back to P8 between Buitelar and Tran. making their way to turn 3. They were very close out of this fountain section, but I think Tuan had a little mistake into turn 1 and lost quite a bit of ground there.
Yeah, Tran has had a few little issues, little glancings off the wall, a little spins, and that's why he is so far back. Really happy that he's where he is. Actually, he still had a pretty good day, up several positions, but not as far as it could be. As we look at that, the battle for 5th continues to be tight. I just think Garrison is going to make a move, and there's a mistake from Burns, and now Garrison is alongside of him, side by side. The momentum will go to Garrison as he closes the deal on the outside. He gets it, moving back up into 5th. That all happened from a mistake from Burns and Garrison. Right there.
A real power move there through the fountain section, being on the very dirty outside there for Dennis, and just being able to overtake him like that, that requires some real good setup.
Okay, now, you little soldiers in Soup's clipboard army, mark this number down. 2.1 seconds. That's the interval between Valverde in 4th and Garrison in 5th. Garrison is fast. He's had some issues. We'll see if he can run him down. Just to set the tone of this race, Janssen is up in front now by 2.3 seconds on Hay. Hay's having a great run. 7.5 seconds to 3rd. These guys are running away with it. Cooking with hot fish grease is Alex Janssen. Remember, Janssen led the majority of the opening rounds as well. Did not get the win. He's got some clear air in front of him. He's going to be coming up on the car racing in 25th position. That's Neil Bamber. Neil is already 1 lap down. 22 cars on the lead lap, the last one being Elmer Notebaum.
Yes, and Elmar is right now also in the battle for 21st against Matt Carballo.
Yeah,
they make
let's
their
go
way
there.
to turn 1.
He's making that pass right now. So Carballo goes back into 22nd position. Notebaum does not want to be lapped. Must be listening to the broadcast. All right, I'll pick up the pace a bit. So now the last car on the lead lap is Matt Carballo. Checking to see if we see any big net. You know what? And I'm showing Notebaum with also a pit stop. So that's somebody to keep an eye on. He's already made his stop, so he's going to be able to scoop farther up the order. Good job, Elmer.
As Alex...
Go ahead.
As Alex Janssen makes his way into turn 4 right now, he is not too far away from the battle that we just witnessed between Carballo and Notebaum. Boom. So, but Alistair Hay, he is closing in, dropping off, closing in, dropping off. Not very consistent from him so far.
Let's take a quick look back to 3rd position. This is beginning to heat up. Here comes Valverde. He's got it down to under a second now on Hoflades. And Hoflades had already made the pass on track to get that spot. Valverde wants it back. How about that interval between Valverde and Garrison? Well, I said about 2.2. It's down to 2.0. Garrison coming. He's got plenty of time to get there. Still 45 minutes of racing left.
Yes, and we're about, I think, halfway through the first stint of this race. So, or actually 2/3 already through the first stint of the race. So we will soon see the first pitters.
If you look at Hofladason being chased by Valverde. Both those drivers veterans of this series.
Now who is that in front of them? Oh, that's Neil Bamber in front of them. A lap car that is already 2 laps down.
Yeah, Neil's a veteran. Well, he'll know how to get out of the way if they're... Although, really no place to hide here. You just got to find a line there. There, he's going to just let those guys go by. Hofladason scoots by, as does Valverde. Right off the left rear suspension. Hofladason, the Swedish driver, will be back at Valverde from Portugal. Hey, let's go way back to 18. We got some excitement to look back a little farther back in the field.
We do indeed, and this battle is between Lance Simon and Bastian Huisman.
Now let's look at a pass. You know, remember we saw Hausman having trouble. We were thinking that his qualifying time, he actually didn't put in a qualifying time, so he's back in 18th position. He makes the pass on Lance. And I believe we're on Hoffman there. Oh, here we go. There's Houseman. And now we have it coming up. That's how you do it. That's a little bit of politeness going on the backside of the track. Those drivers realizing there's spots to vulture here when there's accidents. Go ahead.
As we're coming back, Valverde has closed in very much onto Haflidason now for third, just being a few tenths between those two drivers as they go through turn 2. Valverde having a very little slide there through turn 2. Let's see if it did hurt him too much for turn 3.
Turn 3 is a great passing area. He gets to within a car length. He's going to wait. Valverde, a veteran, he knows what it needs to do. The French driver, Butelar, has come in for a stop. Boy, look at Valverde. All over the back of Haflidason. Looking right, looking left. Working both sides of the street like a jaywalking mailman. Can he find a way around?
As there's someone spun out of turn 6.
Matt Caballo, remember we talked about him. He's now gone a lap down. He was the last car on the lead lap. And actually doing his donut, he put it in the wall. That's going to be hard to recover from that one.
Now, this battle for third is really helping Dennis Gareza in 5th right now. So he's really saying, go on, fight more, I'm coming.
I told you to mark it down on your clipboards, you little soldiers. It was 2.2, that interval. Now from Valverde to Garrison, 1.1. He's cut it in half. And I think really Haflidason is the cork in the bottle right now, as Valverde would really like to get around. He not only sees Haflidason in his windscreen, he sees Garrison in his rearview mirror. Go.
David Hoffman with a spin out of turn 7, putting it hard into the wall and immediately taking the tow and retiring the car.
That's a top 10 driver. He was in 8th position. So,
yeah, he sadly just took way too much curb there into turn 7 and spun it around.
David Hoffman, we can't find that one there for you. That was he lost it, he noses it in. That was a hard hit. He is done. Let's go back to our battle for third. And now he's loose. And that is Haflidason is loose, and here comes Valverde. He's going to pounce on this opportunity. That's just a matter of pressure put on. And so Haflidason got around Valverde. Valverde gets back around Haflidason. And both these guys are in a hurry because here comes Dennis Garrison.
And that was very lucky for Michael to catch his car again. He was that sideways. As we've also got a lap car in front of them. That is Paul Bird in 19th. He will be no problem to them.
We have 15 cars on the lead lap now. A lot of these guys have pitted, though, that are a lap down, possibly, so they may get those back when the leaders decide to pit. Paul Bird is the last car on the lead lap. None of our big names, really, as I look through there, have made the stop that is legitimate. No sleepers hanging him back there that could surprise us.
Nope, the leader of our hitters so far is David Buitelar in 14th. He did a 5-second stop for his first one. I don't remember where he came in, but I think it was from inside the top 10. Somewhere around Tran, if I remember right, who sits in 7th right now.
And we don't need to go there because it happened too long ago, but Pierce Cockey has had a big issue. There's a big name who's in the wall. His day is done. Cockey qualified in 8th.
That is one of the first big names that has done it.
There's the best battle as we continue now. Look how Valverde has pulled away, and now it is Haflidason and Garrison.
But Garrison is there now, so Garrison really has to go out, find some very fast movement in his car to get past Haflidason as fast as he can.
Garrison, remember, was racing a little farther up Hennespin, so he's trying to recover from that. Still waiting for pit stops from the big names. Yeah, I like David Boutellard. I like what you talked about it, Stefan. He's the leader of all the cars who pitted, and he's on the lead lap as well.
He is indeed, and I'm right now trying to find something more down the road, and it is actually Boutellard who's really closing in on P12 and 13. He's now just 2 seconds behind them, so his clear track is soon gone.
Why don't we take this opportunity to touch on a few drivers we haven't talked much about. Let's go to 10th position. This is Josh Brain, another driver looking to race in the P2 crown. He's racing in 10th, car number 946. A little farther back, about 4 seconds back from him, is Paulo Preto in 11th position. He's got about 6 seconds back to Eric Lukal. Now, Lukal, though, is in a battle here. As you see Lukal in 12th coming up. It's the Polish driver, Wojciech Podolski.
And behind them is already our pit leader, David Boutellard. So it did not really take all that long for him to get rid of his clear track ahead of him.
Bouttellard's going to have a good result here because he is going to get around these two guys. Both Lukal and Podolski have to make a pit stop, and who knows how many other positions he can pick up. Certainly the guys that are only 6 or 7 seconds in front of him, like Brado and Brain. I think Bouttellard's looking at an easy top 10. Let's stay on this one and give these guys in the back here a little bit of love, especially since we have some cars on different agendas. Boutellard.
On different agendas and on different setups, I would say, because you can potentially set this track up on 2 different ways depending on your driving style.
Go ahead.
This battle is now officially within 1 second of each other. That is between Lukal and Boutellard, as Boutellard might be able to do something here into turn 3, but that would be very hairy, and he tries to do it. Wow! Oh, and a touch!
Oh! Well, that's one for the stewards. I feel bad for Boutellard because he probably, maybe he realizes that he just needed to wait a little bit for those guys to make a stop, and they're going to get out of the way.
Now, Boutellard might be French, but I think his idol in F1 is Max Verstappen.
Yeah. Boy, he had that turn-in, though. He was well in front. Well in
oh,
front.
Hayne Pitts.
All right.
Second place driver. As he is off the pit limiter again. Clear track behind and in front. Next car up the road is David Burns. He is, let's see, that's 8 seconds in front of him.
Yeah, boy. Hay comes in, only loses what he was in second. He only falls back to 5th. Pit stop's pretty quick here. Pit lane not all that long.
Just to give you an idea, the pit lane transition time for Alistair Hay there was 26 seconds and a pit stop of 5.6 seconds, so the pit stop delta time is somewhere around the 15 seconds.
Yeah. Look at this guy's putting on a show. Boutellard trying to get that spot. And he did get it. Move him up to 11th. He didn't need those. They're going to pull out of the way for a pit stop. So how far does he got to go to get to the next guy? Well, he's got some work to go. Paulo Preto, but again, Preto needs to make a stop. So we talked about Boutellard getting a top 10. Well, he's already into 11th, and almost everybody else in front of him still needs to stop.
Now, it will be interesting how long Boutellard is gonna stretch this second stint, because as Burns come in, but I think he's doing short, long, as to oppose the normal strategy of long, short.
Yep, and I gotta apologize. I've been doing this so long, I gotta make a little note to myself. This is a 2-stopper. For years, for season after season after season, these races were 1-stop events. So honestly, you got to be careful on Boutellard's stop. You never know. He may have short-filled a little bit there. But honestly, filling takes not so much time.
Yes, Burns did stand there still for 5.2 seconds in the garage. Our fastest stopper so far of the 4 stoppers we have seen is Daniel Solo with a 4.5 stoppage time.
So Burns cycles out into 7th. In fact, if we look at Burns in 7th position, if we go up to the driver in 6th, this is his teammate, Vincent Bream, for 2 stupid dogs.
Jensen in.
And our leader has come in.
As behind him, Wojtek Potocek pulls away from his stall.
Yeah, so we have Janssen still going to his box, and Potocek coming out of his box.
Let's see, I'm gonna pick up Valverde here. Also, he is in the pits. Garrison drives by, taking over the lead here from Jensen.
So Dennis inherits the lead. But look at this. Even Garrison comes out, he is yet to pit. Janssen is right behind him with the stop made. They're all coming out.
In. And that in front of him is Vincent Brim taking his pit stop. Now with Garrison we also saw Alistair Hay driving by the pit stall. No, wait, I'm sorry, he already pitted.
Yeah, Hay made a stop, yes, so. Now Hay is listed in 3rd. He's about almost 7 seconds behind Janssen. And really, as soon as we get Garrison out of the way, everything will sort out. Dennis, the last driver.
Only 3 cars who didn't pit yet, that's Garrison. And then we have in 16th and 17th, Lance Simon and Paul Bird all still need to making their pit stop.
Looks like we'll have 12 cars on the lead lap when this sorts out. Go ahead.
Jensen has closed in the gap pretty much on Garrison already as Garrison comes in, so he was able to stretch his tank 1 lap further than everyone else. So that is a bit interesting. Now, I don't know how much they need to take on for the last pit stop, but if it's just 2 laps that you need for your last stop, that could already mean that Garrison does need to do a second stop.
Valverde goes by. Does Burns go by as well? Yes, Burns goes by. Garrison cycles out in 5th position. All right, let's look at 6th position. This is Tuan Tran. He's a former champion. And the French driver putting on a show, David Buglar, man, he must love Michigan because he loves Detroit. He's really racing well.
He must even love himself right now as fast as he is driving and passing cars left, right and center. That is the greatest feeling for a race car driver that you can imagine.
Qualified in 17th position, is up to 7th, and a lot of those have been made on the track. Yes, some have been from attrition, but I'd say at least a half a dozen have been passes on the track, and he's got a veteran to work with. Let's go ahead and stay on this for a while. Give us a chance to look at some racing.
Butler has come from 17th to 7th. Tuan Tran has come from 15th to 6th. So they both made pretty much the same journey.
Ride on board with the Frenchman. Tuan Tran races out of the Netherlands. Was the season 6 champion until Errol Num came on the scene when Errol started just to turn into a dynasty.
I just caught that. One car that we focused on earlier, Wojtek Potocek with a spin in turn 3. Nothing to worry about, nothing to go to. Just a self-spin, a very harmless one.
Potocek racing in 15th. He is the last car. He's the first car 1 lap down. 14 cars were able to get in and out of the pit stop cycle and stay on the lead lap, the last one being Daniel Solo.
As our fighting pack passes Lance Simon, who is right now in 16th.
There is no real battle inside the top 5. They are sorted out. The one we're looking at between Tran and Butelaar is the best one on the track right now. Yeah, look at this. Tran has turned up the wick a bit. And I think when you saw Butelaar back there, the former champion said, okay, time to go.
Last lap between the two, Tran was faster by pretty much 4/10 of a second.
Behind these guys, there's really nobody coming. I'll just give you the names. Vincent Brame and Liam Quinn race 8th and 9th. Rounding out your top 10, Josh Brain.
As we continue to have 14 cars on the lead lap, 16 being at least 1 lap down, 17 are pretty much still racing on the track.
And honestly, as I go through the cars that are even 1 lap down, there's really no battle there. So let's go ahead and stay on the one we're looking at because it's intense. All right, now this is a good passing zone. He's got a shot. He's got momentum. He's got the inside. He's in the preferred position as they come up to the right-hander, and I think Tran says, all right, man, I get it.
Tran tried to cover off, but he didn't do enough.
So move Butelaar. Oh! I think he went up. That was the right-hander that was corner number 4. Well, right on board, and I'm going to be quiet when we get there, and you can just hear it. Here's the pass. That maybe didn't get in there. It's coming up right here. This is the one. You heard it.
As we're coming back live, I can report that I do not see any damage on David's car.
Maybe he just put it in there nice and flush with the wall, hit both sides at the same time, and maybe the car's fit. It's running well. Tran's not closing in on him much.
It's running very well indeed so far for him.
I'm going to try to see if we can zoom in and see a little bit of wing damage there. Nevertheless, he's got it figured out. Now, where this, even if this is not slowing him down on track, where this might cost Butelaar is when it's time for a pit stop and iRacing demands that that wing is changed. That could cost him an extra 10 or 15 seconds.
A very small damage, it does not change. So it can, he can still get away with this.
So that's going on. No battle up inside the top 5 at all.
Butelaar, big mistake there going into turn 6. That opens up the door for Turin again.
Tran's got momentum if he wants it.
No, he's lifting. He's lifting.
Gonna wait. Again, we're only at the halfway mark. Tran's got 10-second cushion back to Vincent Bream. And it's another 15 seconds up to Garrison. So really, these guys are they're just fighting for this one spot, and Tran has 25 minutes to get this done.
Now, where we can see soon a battle starting to develop is between David J. Burns and Dennis Garrison in 4th and 5th, with Garrison closing in 3 to 5/10 every lap, being 2 seconds behind him right now.
Seems like that's all that Dennis Garrison has done this entire race, is close in on the guy in front of him. He's sitting in 4th, looking to get to Burns. He's sitting in 5th, looking to get to Burns, who is racing in 4th.
And these guys started in opposite grid stalls, with Burns starting in 5th and Garrison.
Well, maybe we can highlight a guy. How about we take this opportunity to highlight our hard charger? That would be car 215 in 12th position, Daniel Solo. He is 1 lap down, racing in 13th, but started in 31st. Now, I must confess, he didn't put in a qualifying time, so while I will acknowledge his drive through the field, I'm not awarding any hardware. He's not getting the hard charger sticker.
But you can get that sticker to Eric Luco in front of him.
You sure can.
he started legitimate in 26th and is now in 11th, gaining him 15 spots in the race.
I'm glad you saw that because he deserves it. Nice job, Eric. Not only that, he's on the lead lap.
He is indeed, but not for very long, as Jensen is running him down the road.
11 cars on the lead lap. Things have settled down a little bit now. As we're in between pit stops, the attrition was brutal early on. If I can give you a list of this to count the cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cars, 8 laps or more down. Big names, Mikael Hofladezen, Pierce Cockey, Bastian Hausmann. My goodness, there are a lot of them down there.
There are very much down there.
And your P2 leader coming in, Smola down there as well. Smola. All right, Director, where are we going? We're looking at, not sure who we're looking at there. You can let me know.
That was
there we go. Oh, it's we're look on Lucal.
The battle between Burns and Garrison is continuing to close. There are now 1.4 seconds between them, as Burns had a little mistake, costing him a full second in the last lap. This lap around, Burns was faster by 4/10 again, so Garrison playing around with the gap he has on Garrison.
Let's go up to the leader real quick. We'll get this pass made as they go a lap down. This is Janssen getting our director was there. There, it's completed. A good job. I just want to give a tip of the hat to Eric Lucal getting out of the way. And so with Lucal getting bit, that means 10 cars are on the lead lap. How far up is Josh Brain? Well, he's got a while. Josh is pretty safe.
Josh, it's about 20 seconds to Josh.
And you know, there's Brain. It's quite a distance here. He's running good. But yes, I think you found the next battle that is heating up, and that is Garrison. He's got it down to under a second.
Yes. Also, I want just to have that quick shout out to Tuan Tran. He is still roughly keeping with Buitala so far. He has, in the lap since the battle, dropped off 2 seconds from Dinklage.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Buitalar's car didn't pick up any damage there as he put it in the wall.
Oh, Burns in.
Oh, look at this. Now, Burns didn't want the battle. You know what? If I'm being ran down, Dennis Garrison, if you're going to catch me, I'll just come in and make my final stop.
He is trying to make this work with the strategy, as he put in a 35.44 as his in-lap, so that is quite a fast in-lap.
He's the first of the big names who are going to be good to go. Really fast stop. Well, that's just a splash and go, I guess. Stefan?
Yes, 3.9 seconds actually, just for him, as Tuan Tran is right behind him, trying to overtake him. Let's see if it works out for him or not.
These guys have raced next to each other mile after mile after mile, lap after lap after lap. Of course, they're not really, this is kind of a faux battle for 6th position, as Tran still needs to make his stop.
Now, the thing is, with Burns, Buitala is ahead of him. He is roughly 2 seconds ahead of him, but Buitala is faster than him, so he has no problem with that. But the thing is, what will Garrison do now? Because yes, he has the free track, but as the car in front, you're also benefiting from the draft that the car behind has. As Garrison drives by the pit lane once again.
Yeah, you know, as you talked about Garrison, so many of these races come down to just luck. You talk about Burns coming out ahead of Twan. If he comes out behind Twan, he's going to be slowed down. Remember, Burns is racing Garrison right now. And Garrison is on the other side of the track because Garrison still needs to make that final stop. So Burns is out there hot lapping. He knows what's in store.
Well, the good thing I can report for Burns fan is that he is pulling away from Tuan Tran.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just a matter of seconds that he was able to get ahead of Tran out of pit lane. He didn't have to make the pass on the track. Otherwise, he'd be working hard. All this going on behind Alex Janssen once again. Remember, Janssen led, I think, what did I say, like 35 of the possible 38 laps in the first race, didn't get the win. Boy, he's crushing it in here today.
Now, there's one thing though. With a 3.9 second stop, this stop didn't take on a whole lot of fuel. So the question is with Garrison, remember, he was able to drive a lap further than anyone else. Will he be able to save enough fuel over these two stints to not make that second stop?
And again, we don't know how much he put in that first stop. Did he fill it all the way up? Does he need a splashing door? Does he need to take a little bit more?
As Alistair Hay is into the pit stop, let's see how long his stop will be as he pulls up. Perfect stop here.
Valverde rolls by. Garrison rolls by.
That was a 5-second stop for Alistair Hay.
Hay comes out in fourth, well ahead of Burns.
Now, this is still very interesting because you now have a stop time of 5 seconds for Hay and only 3.9 seconds for Burns. So, question is, did Hay take on so much more fuel than he really needs to? Or did Burns underfuel? Oh, there's a red car in front of Hay. That's white check, bottle check.
Auto check. And it's right, it's right in front of Dennis Garrison. See, you're never safe.
Well, that was really close with Garrison too.
Photo check, and there's Garrison just getting by.
Oh, Garrison was lucky there too because he had a slide into the same turn.
So we're still waiting for Janssen to make his stop. Valverde, Garrison, Hay, the leader of everybody who stopped. And then we're all going to take note to see if Buttilar has to pay any type of repair penalty. We saw him put the car into the wall a little bit, and whether iRacing is going to make him fix any damage that happened there. I'm thinking no. I think he's okay.
I think so too, that he is okay to not have his front wing replaced.
And Buttilar comes in right now. He's been listening to the broadcast. You can just see his little helmet over the top of that cement wall. He comes in. Let's see how quick this is going to be. The car does not go up. Oh, that's a quick one.
4.6 seconds there for him. Still about 7/10 slower than Burns.
What a great
Let's
race
see
for
where
him.
he comes out. That is in front of Quinn, or will it behind be? Will it be behind him?
No, he's in front of Quinn, and Quinn still needs to make his second stop. So again, Buttilar, a little bit lucky. He will not need to make that pass on the track. Ow, that was not lucky.
Buttilar spins. Oh,
that was not lucky. Did he get? It was behind a tree for me. No, I think he's okay. Oh, but unless the car picked up some undercarriage.
His underfloor, I don't think it's even still there, the underfloor. That's how heavy he went into that second curvage, nearly flipping his car. He's testing it out. I think he feels some damage right there.
He might have like what we call a Flintstone car, where you can look right down and see the pavement below your feet.
Oh, Burns spun. Oh boy. What is that? Out of turn 13. And it wasn't the off-camber out of the turn that got him. The bumps on the inside, that's what got him. Just too much speed over them.
But he didn't hit anything. And I don't think he went over anything, so it's just a matter of getting the car turned around. And boy, it took a long time to get this done. Oh, mercy, and he does it. Cost him a ton of time. He ends up in 7th. So, well, that's good news for Garrison. Remember, he was racing Garrison. That's not going to be an issue now.
No, it won't be. And the thing now is, what will happen between Hay and Garrison?
Yeah.
Let's just assume that Garrison is able to drive this to the end, even though I think that he will just do by just a tiny margin, will not be able to do it, just by calculating in my head. But let's just assume he's able to do that. Then we have a battle here for third between Garrison and Hay. Oh no, sorry, a second between Garrison and Hay, because Valverde still has to pit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the series officials have made this so that it's got to be a two-stopper, but I don't know. Maybe you can stretch it to one. So here's what's up. Garrison is in third. You're looking at right there. You can see the interval 1.4 ahead of Hay. Hay has stopped his second time. Garrison has not. Does Garrison have 13.5 minutes of fuel in there? Maybe.
We shall find out at the end of this race. Now, after his spin, David Burns sits still in 7th ahead of Liam Quinn.
Yeah.
They are doing pretty much similar lap times right now, so this is a battle.
And I don't think Burns is going to get hurt too much, because ahead of him are Bream and Tran. And he might be close enough to get to them. He's only about 20 seconds behind Tran and 10 seconds behind Bream.
Let's not forget Tran and Bream didn't pit yet, so...
Right, that's why I'm saying that I think Burns is going to be able to get probably up to 5th.
Oh, we missed something. Alex Jensen was in the pit lane. He put it at 4.4 stop. Nearly spins it out of the pit lane. That was close. Right in front of David Beuteler.
Take a look at this little pit exit here. He does cycle out back into first again. Right on board as he goes through the invisible pace car. And whoa! That was a good catch there, Stefan. I'm glad we caught that one. That's almost given the race away.
All right, so it also seems like no, Valverde didn't pit yet. So we have Jensen, who came out in front of Valverde, who was, I think, about 15 seconds behind Jensen at the start-finish line. So that tells you how just short this pit lane really is.
Now this is Bream coming in. The question is Burns going to be able to get around Bream?
I see very big damage on Bream there, though. Yes, he did spin out of turn 11. Turn 11. The off-camera on the exit got him, and he smashed into the tire barriers.
We have a replay of that one, and sure enough, Burns has worked his way up into 6th position now, just behind Tran as he was able to get around.
Valverde, while we're in the pit, replay, Valverde is in the pit lane.
The nose has gone on the car already. That's what he was looking at. And that's how it looked after the spin. So there you have it.
4-second stop for Valverde, also a very fast one.
And here's the Vincent Bream spin. Okay. We'll stay on. We're going to get to this one. There it is. Vince. I'm sure Vincent is very thankful the director took all that time to get that one on camera. Poor Vincent. Hey, baby, you spin. We're going to show it no matter how long it takes. So, what does this mean, Stefan? What's happened here? The front guys have pitted. Garrison has not, right?
Exactly. We have first, third, and fourth. That's Jensen, Hay, and Valverde have pitted already. We have in between Garrison 5.7 seconds behind our leader in second, who has not pitted yet, driving pretty much the same laps as Alistair Hay. The lap times between those two were just 5/100th of a second between them. So it still is very interesting what he can do.
So the question is, let's assume Garrison has to pit, and I think we're pretty safe to say that. He's only a second and a half ahead of Hay. Hay's got 17 seconds back to Valverde. That's kind of the question. Can Garrison get in and out before Valverde gets around? 17 seconds, that's not enough time, right? He's going to lose that spot to Valverde, right?
It shows 19 right now, and that is about the pit lane delta time that is right here. So, especially with Garrison being being able to stretch his stints out, that means his pit time will be shorter, probably with those 2 laps that assumably he's saved right now, is about a second already, so it will be very, very close between them.
Tran comes in, he makes his stop. Burns goes by. Now Liam Quinn has still yet to make his stop. He's going to stay out. Let's see if it's Josh Bray. No, he needs to make. Who would it be? I guess it'd be Ronku in 9th. He's not going to be able to get there. So I think Tran's going to get out safely.
Tran was fighting with Boitelar until he crashed.
Yeah, but Boitelar, we saw what happened to him. So, yeah, I think the big question is going to be Garrison in and out before Valverde. In fact, here we go now.
And
Garrison
he is
in. Yeah.
So let's keep an eye on Valverde while he drives into the pit lane. Valverde right now going into turn 13.
Garrison just finding his box right now. Valverde crossing the start-finish line. Yep, go ahead.
Yes. And this will be very close in about 2 or 3 laps because Garrison is the faster of the 2.
Yep. So Valverde gets him, but not by much. You can see right behind. So now I agree. I think Garrison's been on a roll. Let's see if he can run down Valverde. This would be for the final podium spot. Janssen and Hayes seem pretty safe in first and second.
And saying he's the faster car, let's take a look at the best lap times so far. Valverde with a 26.938, and behind him Garrison with a 26.674. So even though Garrison is the faster car, he will have to work for this podium.
All right, if the drivers will behave, we look at that battle. We're going to quickly, Director, touch on the front 2 cars, give them a little screen time before we get back to this one. Let's look at Janssen. 6.8 seconds up ahead of Alistair Hay. I just don't think anything happened to those guys. He's got 18 seconds. Then we get back to the battle we were just looking at that is going to be interesting for the final podium spot. Garrison and Valverde. Valverde ahead in the kind of the blue-flavored machine. Back there, Dennis Garrison racing in the snow-colored car. And then we drop 1 farther back to David Third Degree Burns. 28 seconds behind Garrison. 4 seconds up on Liam Quinn, but again, Quinn still needs to make that stop. Tuan Tran, I think, is going to end up in 6th position when it's all said and done.
Yes, but don't count out Liam Quinn here. He is still very hard to pass because between them we also don't have a whole lot of time difference.
So we have 2 things to watch. We're going to watch Valverde and Garrison. Actually, this is for the podium. We're going to focus mostly on this. But there is a battle back there between Quinn and Tran. Quinn still needs to make a stop, but he only has 6 more minutes to go. Can he stay out there? Nope. He's coming in right now. So that battle is gone. Quinn has made his pit stop. Look at Valverde and Garrison.
Yes, I fooled myself there with thinking it's only 1 stopper. So, yeah, there we go.
No, not on the outside. We don't want to do it there, Dennis. Let's wait a bit, baby, as they work through the fountain section. Let's. Stefan, I'm going to give a little. I'm going to get on the box, get on the mic right now. Dennis, let's wait till corner 3. That's where we're going to do it. All right.
Yeah, because let's face it, you can't pass through the ladder of this lap.
So what he wants to do is get a little closer here. He's got the right-hander of 1 and the left-hander of 2. Well, he gets a pretty good closing right here. This is really good. This looks good. Now, if he can get a good drive off of this corner, can he get a run into 3? Might be too far back.
I would say he was too close through turn 2 to do anything, because when he got that close to Valverde, you were able to see that his car started to slide a little bit through turn 2, and that's what ultimately cost him here. So Garrison just take a little bit more time into turn 1 and you're gonna be there for turn 3.
He looks really good under braking in comparison to Valverde, though. Really gets in there now. Okay, now this is where he made a shot at it before. He took a shot into 7. I think he's too far back here.
Here we have, once again, a clash of 2 driving styles. Garrison really fast into turns, but Valverde taking the slow in, fast out route, and he is really making it work here right now in this battle, defending his podium.
4 minutes of racing to go, everything holding steady around the rest of the track. We're going to stay on this battle because this one's fun to watch. Oh, you know, we're not going to go there, but Josh Brain was having a nice run. He was in 10th position. He just crashed his car. He's going to fall down considerably. Only 7 cars on the lead lap. Okay. He's got to look. He's got to look. He's got to look into 1. That's not it. But now, this is what... Oh, he's going to peek it in here. Oh, I think he's in a good position now. He's got good momentum. Good drive. Protecting the inside, taking the defensive line is Valverde. Valverde easing over, trying to get the best angle into 3. Can't get it done. Can he get it wound up? A little over-under, a little dipsy-do? Not going to happen, but look at Garrison all over the back of him.
Driving by Brame, he went so far to the right side and he was nearly on the other side of the wall there.
Just under 3 minutes of racing to go. Our leaders are going into 13 right now. It looks like we'll probably have 2 more laps after this one.
Yes, we still have 3 minutes remaining. It's 48 right now.
We're going to stay on this battle. Yeah, there. Now I don't care who finishes in front of who, but what I do care about, I hope that they both get it to the checkered flag in one piece.
Yes, that would be preferable.
Valverde, the veteran, he's been around for a while. He has race victories under his belt. He knows how to win. Garrison, new to the series this season, but he's been fast. He already won the opening round race, and he's looking to get some points again as he tries to pick up a few more, get that final podium spot. Not going to have enough into 1 this time.
Trying to undercut again.
Moving way over to the left to try to get a good drive out of 3.
But once again, Valverde with his very good exit speed, Garrison not able to do anything.
Right in behind him now. Now Garrison likes this spot. He's not scared to make a shot into 7. 2 car lengths back. Again, another good exit from Valverde. Looks too far for Garrison here.
Be careful, Paul Bird ahead of them. As he goes way out of the way.
Boy, I'm telling you right now, if Garrison can get around him, he's clearly faster. Boy, he is right on him right now. Through the fountain section. And like you said, Stefan, I think he's got to be careful not to be too close because it ruins his momentum. I think he's in pretty good shape here through 12 and 13. Let's see what kind of run he gets here.
This will be close this time. I think he is too close for turn 1 and 2. But let's see if he proves us wrong as they take the white flag, I think.
We can stay on this battle. We'll jump to the leader when it is time. The leader on the back straight.
As Garrison will not be able to do anything into turn 3, so he safely can go to Johnson.
You know what? Garrison is faster through the technical sections. That's where he's really good. He just doesn't have the straight line speed. We can stay on this a minute. Our leader just going through the fountain section now. On his way to victory. We'll stay here for a minute. Well, he led the majority, and I mean the large majority of the laps in the season opener, only to have to settle for second. He's led almost every lap this race. Let's give round number 2, season 15 of the Absolute Beginner Leagues, Formula Neagle, to the Alex Johnson. Hey, we'll come
as
to
we
the
go back
Go ahead, Seth.
As we go back to the battle between Valverde and Garrison with a mistake into turn 11, settling this battle for third.
Yep, it sure did. He gave it all he can, all he could do. Yal Valverde comes from 7th position to pick up the final podium spot behind Ali Hay, who gets second. Dennis Garrison started 4th, finishes 4th, but boy, he put on quite a show. David, 3rd degree burns, started 5th, finishes 5th, but again, he had to work for it. And how about this? Tuan Tran up 9 spots, finishing on the lead lap in 6th position. Everybody else 1 lap down. The racing is... Go ahead.
Not only finishing in 15th, finishing in 16th, but starting in 15th. He is the hard charger of the guys that stayed on the lead lap.
All the laps raced in anger are done. Now they're just on their cool down lap. Why don't we take a cool down break here on the Global SimRacing Channel? Don't go far. We'll be back to run down the entire finish order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League from Detroit's Belle Isle. Welcome back to GSRC's Round 2 coverage of the Season 15 Formula Neagle Championship. My goodness, that was an exciting race, and maybe a little justice was dealt out after the sad events that happened to Alex Johnson in the season opener. He gets the win here today in dominant fashion. How about a tip of the hat to Alistair Hay? We gave a little bit of a stab at him in the pre-race, talking about Cinderella not being legitimate royalty. My goodness, this guy is racing this season. That was a really strong performance in second. Nice job from Ali Hay. Yal Valverde, welcome back to the series after missing the season opener. He comes home third. Dennis Garrison, again, looks to be a force for the championship as he settles fourth. Veteran David Third Degree Burns put on quite a show in fifth position. The back half of your top 10. Tuan Tran, Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn, Timo Ronku, David Butelaar, who also had a nice performance before a mistake cost him several positions, gets ninth, and Josh Brain in 10th. Stefan?
Vincent Braham in 11th, Eric Lukel, our hard charger of the entire field, from 26th to 12th, finishing just in front of Daniel Solo, who is already a second lap down. In 13th, Lance Simon. In 14th, Paul Bird. 15th, being already 3 laps down. And then we have a big list of people that didn't finish, including Wojtek Potacek, Paul Preto, Michael Haflidason, and Piers Cocky, and David Hoffman finishing in 20th, 30 laps down.
Things get real ugly from 16th position back. I will continue with the ugliness. In 21st, Bastian Hausman, Matt Cabreo, Elmer Notebaum, Bambi, Neil Bamber in 24th, Vincenzo Raia in the 25th position, Luke Trujolus in 26th, Alejandro Cutellas in the 27th position, 28th, 29th, and 30th, Ben Summers, Hendrik Kamara, Ricard Colomb. These guys all went out really early in the chaos that happened so quick. The Strudelmeister in 31st, Thomas Kick, Camille Samolala in the 32nd position. He was the leader going into the F2 champion, the F2 championship. Not going to be that way coming out of here. Hugo Gutierrez in 33rd, as we have 40 drivers that took the grid. There you have it. My goodness, there was a lot of attrition. 6 cars on the lead lap, 15 cars that were actually racing at the end. And now it is time for interviews, and we get to talk to the race winner. He was clearly the dominant driver today. Alex Johnson, congratulations on the win. I don't know if it was easy, but you made it look that way.
It wasn't easy for sure. It was a really, really tough race, but I had a great spotter in my teammate Niklas, so big shout out to him first of all.
I want to ask a question I ask a lot of times when I see drivers that are dominant in a race. What percentage, how hard do you race? I've asked this question before, and I hear so many drivers in your position say, I have to keep racing the way I qualify, otherwise I lose my rhythm. When you know you have the race locked up, do you race pretty much near the top of what you can do?
Well, I was, on the Delta, I was probably 4/10 on average down from my personal best. But on the last lap, I was driving like a granny, to be honest. But other than that, I was doing like half a second off my personal best.
Well, if they gave out points for laps led, my goodness, you would be crushing. You had so many in the first round, and then another good race here today. Is it coming to you? I'm looking down there. I see the drivers that you raced against last season that are back, like Burns and Valverde. You were finishing behind them before. You're beating them now. You feeling more comfortable in the Formula Renault?
Definitely. We have been working a lot on this car during the off-season, so we have improved a lot. And I'm getting more and more comfortable with the car as well, so we're bound for success this season.
Bound for success. All right, well, it's a good start. The guy you're chasing, Garrison, finishes in 4th. I think you're probably going to be the point leader going into round 3. Congratulations. Looks like a good season ahead.
I hope so as well, and thank you very much, guys.
Alex Johnson, bound for success. I like that attitude. All right, let's see who Stefan's going to talk to.
I'm going to talk to Joao Valverde, finishing in 3rd place, just being able to defend off Dennis Garrison, who finished right behind him. Joao, talk us through the last stage of your race. How did it feel to you?
Well, I'm still shaking, so that tells you a lot. No, it was super fun. the simple fact is that Dennis was way faster than me, and in any other track, he would be long gone.
Now, what we saw with your battle was that, yes, Dennis was the better driver into turns, but you were able to just pull away out of the turns, especially out of turn 6. So that really helped you in that battle. But looking forward to round 3, how do you feel about the track that comes up next in our schedule?
Well, I guess it's like any other track. You start practicing, you start fine-tuning things, and confidence tends to build through the week.
Well, then practice away. And before we let you go, are there any people who you want to thank who make this possible for you?
Yeah, the guys in the team that helped me with the setup of the car and small tips and tricks around the track. And you guys for the awesome broadcasts, so thank you.
Well, thank you too. Now, everyone, once again, put your hands together for our 3rd place finisher, Joao Valverde, and I think that is sadly all we have got time for today.
It's good to see that Joao is back after missing the season opener. We wish him good luck the rest of the way. He'll have a tall mountain to climb, but he's certainly fast enough. If a little accidents happen to the guys in front, he could get that championship. The Absolute Beginner League. We'd like to thank them for organizing Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music that gives every GSRC broadcast that unique flavor and feel, well, that's thanks to Eric Eckham and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. Formula Neagle returns in 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks we show up. It's going to be round 3, November 4th, and it's going to be from Zandvoort. Oh, the racetrack by the dunes. GSRC will be there. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screens right now are just some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You know what? We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And while you're here, if you haven't done so yet, come on and be part of the 7,000 plus subscribers who've already joined our YouTube channel. You can do that by hitting the big red button there on the YouTube channel to subscribe. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Stefan, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.